Cancel.
Schweezy.
So it's time for more cringe from BuzzFeed. Of all places, I would cringe inside. Cashiers are sharing purchases that they judge people for buying, and I don't know what to think. So, still my birthday. I can still talk about wherever the fuck I want. So here is a BuzzFeed article about what cashiers. Now, I was a cashier for 3 months. So therefore, I'm 100% qualified to be talking about this. Now, I always try not to be shitty as a cashier. I will talk about this. This is a funny story. At a local grocery store, a cashier accidentally undercharged me for something, and I didn't tell her no, but I also don't want her to get in trouble, and I'm worried she did get in trouble, and so every time I see her there, I really do my best to avoid her. So I always try to be good to people and try to be a better person. But anyways, though, let's see here. From a customer perspective, we often think the cashier who is ringing up our items at a store is secretly judging us based on our purchases. Well, based on a Reddit thread I came across where Grackle asked, cashiers on Reddit, what items make you silently judge the people who buy them? We finally have some answers that can put your worrying minds to rest. And as someone who did work as a cashier, I will say, most of the time they don't think anything of it. They just don't care. I was surprised when I was a cashier. It was the most items I saw bought were diapers and tampons, and I was like, just tampons. And I don't know why. This is a weird thing to say, but I don't know why I always thought that women were ashamed to know men had periods or something like that. I think I just had one girlfriend who was like, oh, I don't want you to know I have a period. And now if you talk to a girl, she'll just be like, I'm on my period. Bleeding fucking shit. You want to see it? The one time they'll show you the vaginas when they're bleeding to death. I'm like, no, don't want to see that shit. Anyways, though, let's see here what cashiers have to say about that. As someone who used to be a cashier. Free ads for someone. This was about 10 years ago, but the one time I judged someone was also when I lost a little faith in humanity. A guy in his late 20s came through with the line. The belt was filled with junk food, chips, chocolate, popcorn, and candy. The whole time I'm ringing him up, he's saying how glad he is to be out of the house. The baby has the flu or something, and he's at his wit's end. Fair enough, I suppose. I get to the total tell him, and wouldn't know, he's short a few dollars, so what does he put back? The only non-junk food item, children's cold and flu medicine. I still judge that man, and I don't even remember his face. So I feel like a lot of things that are going to be mentioned in this article are going to be the customer is bringing it up to the cashier, because that's the only time, because most of the time you just think oh, you're buying batteries and NyQuil? Who gives a shit? And unless you know, you're like, oh, I'll see what... I bought a bottle of vodka and some liquid IV, and the cashier was like, I see you're preparing for tonight. I'm like, okay. Shit like that. Anyways, though, yeah, shitty father. Yeah, that's worth judging someone for. Usually cashiers don't give a shit, but I like it when something has to... This is going to be stuff that has to stand out for someone to actually say shit. Not in itself, but I always side-eyed parents who will buy my weight in booze and cigarettes, but then scream at their kids to put the bottle of juice back. Jesus. I'm like, don't you need a mixer? You can just use the juice as a mixer and stuff like that. Booze, you're just drinking the booze straight. I can drink the booze straight if I'm drunk enough, but I'm not going to drink it first drink and shit like that. Jesus. Well, whiskey's different, because whiskey, you can, if a good whiskey, you drink straight, so that's good. The Ethos water at Starbucks, we literally give out free water, and it's way better than the Ethos water, sir. See, I know Dasani's taste like ass, but every other bottled water tastes the same to me. I'll buy the Dollar General, the Sheet, Hy-Vee, Kroger, Walmart brand. It doesn't really matter to me. Unless you're making coffee, then the specific whatever, spring water, I think, because it has the minerals in it that you want. I'm not sure if Starbucks does this. Someone will correct me. I assume with Starbucks it's not sink water. They do don't they try to use a filtered water? If you're gonna make really good coffee, you usually use some sort of special water. And assuming that's the same water that you get from Starbucks, you were like, can I just get a water? I assume it's probably the same or something like that. So yeah, Starbucks is something like that. The one time I was a cashier was at a place that had a Starbucks built in, and if I wanted water, I just went there. And there was a while I was like, "Can you fill me up with water?" And then they were like, "You can just come back here and fill it up yourself." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay." I was like, I just want to be respectful or whatever. So yeah, Starbucks, yeah, maybe just ask for water from them or something like that. That's probably better than the fucking bottled water they're selling. Not judged as much as hated, but when people bought dozens of those individually wrapped snacks, cheese slices at my store, we had to scan each one of them. I remember there was like a baby food when I worked at the Target. I guess I'll just admit it was a Target. I was a cashier at, but they did not sell them in bulk, and I was like, I wonder if like they sell these in bulk or whatever. I remember always just like scanning a million of those. They're like, no, they don't. We have to buy them individual. I'm like, okay. So this could be someone who's just like, maybe they do have it in packed or whatever, and maybe they don't. It just like the adult diapers, it depends. Maybe that's the case. This regular lady comes in multiple times a day and always gets a small bottle of alcohol, like Southern Comfort or Fireball, and she always tells me, I'm marinating chicken, I don't drink, or other times she tells me, they are for my husband, and later in the day she tells me, I'm so lonely without my husband. I know she might be going through some stuff, but I always think to myself, I honestly don't care, lady, as long as you pay for it. That is true. As much as of some alcohol problems I've had in my life, I just go in and buy it, and you go to a liquor store so much. And look, I have fucking hair like this. Those of you watching can get the better details and that shit, but and stuff like that. I look unique, and it's like if I go to a store enough, they're gonna remember me. It took me like 2 times to go to my new barber for him to remember me. And so, like, they don't care, They're like, yeah, we have super bad alcoholics coming here all the time. Like, you're not a problem to us. If you're civil, you come in, have the money to pay for everything, you're okay. Like, you're not a problem. Like, and so, like, I think this lady making excuses is probably making it worse for herself. No, I'm marinating chicken. You're marinating chicken in fucking Fireball? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Southern Comfort, I'm like, I had Southern Comfort a couple months ago, and I was like, oh, I remember Southern Comfort. I thought it was okay. And I'm like, this is not okay. I don't like this shit. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't know if it's bad or not. I'm like, just like, I don't like this shit. I once had a guy in his 50s ask me if it was okay to buy his wife a box of hair dye for Mother's Day. I told him it probably wasn't a good idea, but he said, oh well, and bought it anyway. So yeah, I judged him. Yeah, he should be judged for that. That's 100%. Why would you fucking... Most women don't like having gray hairs either. They usually fix that shit just for themselves before they do it for anyone else. Jesus. Literally the only thing that ever stood out to me was people late at night buying 6+ bottles of non-mint mouthwash. Absolutely 100% of the time they were drinking it. I tried drinking mouthwash. I'm not proud of this, okay? I tried drinking mouthwash once, and it was like, I can't do it. I'm out. I'm not that bad. I was like, I'm not that big of an alcoholic. I was like, I'm not. I just drink at night when I'm alone. I'm like, I'm not that bad. So yeah, I'm going back to the lady with the small bottles. Just get a big bottle. That saves a couple trips. And if you're only going to the same stores, you gotta save a couple trips. Drinking mouthwash, yeah. 6+ bottles of it at once, Jesus, dude. Like, you gotta be really bad. You gotta be your tolerance has to be super high. Like, I'm only at a place where it's like, yeah, I can drink like 16 beers and then I'll feel drunk. Jeez, that's bad. When I was a cashier on the express lane, I would silently judge the people who told me to wait while scanning their items to grab a few more things. A normal line with a giant cart and only missing one thing is relatively okay, but the express lane, judgment. That's just rude. You wasted your time. You had, as Kelly Clarkson said, you had your chance, you blew it. Out of sight, out of mind. Just your mother just can't take it. Again and again and again. And again. Okay. Lottery tickets. I get that gambling addiction is a problem in why, but unlike drinking or other drugs, it seems like so little reward for so much investment. People pissing away in minutes what it would take me all week to earn right in front of my eyes, not even waiting to leave the store to scratch off a whole stack. Again, it's not really judgment. I know these people or their lies, but it makes me feel upset. See, why I can't get into gambling is that anytime I've just like done anything like it's like a Walmart sweepstakes or some bullshit like that, or you scratch off, and like I don't get the amount of times you win versus the amount of times you lose. There's more times you lose, and so when you lose, you don't get that serotonin that people. I don't know how people get that serotonin, because maybe I'm just a loser. I'm a loser, baby. So somebody kill me, and stuff like that. Then the pH balanced water bottle is not even the fact that it's a single bottle of water, but that these one typicals have super thick plastic and even massive caps do have premium feel, which makes me feel like the customer is a bit of a dipshit. Yeah, they're a dipshit. Unless they have electrolytes in it, it's like there's no point in buying this like really expensive water unless it's like for. I know some, like I know like Fuji water, that's pretty expensive, but I've seen people in like coffee competitions win using a bottle of Fuji water to brew their cup of coffee. So, I don't know. Yeah, some of that shows like I'm a big believer in just like the Walmart brand or something like that. Even studios I've worked at, like, they've just used that shit. That's not a big deal. It's just not a big deal or anything. Anything of a large amount, I once saw a person buy, like, 15 boxes of Red Bull. The most concerning thing is they looked like they were 12. Oh, I was like, I thought it was moving, because it's number 11. I thought they were going to 12. Now that they look 12, that's one thing. Let's ignore that. But there's a difference between, like, buying it in bulk and, like, going to, like, fucking a gas station every day to get that shit. There's a difference. Be cool. Don't be stingy or whatever, I worked as a cashier in high school. In college, I only remember one combo that a customer brought through my register. It was a Friday afternoon, and an older gentleman brought up a large glass jug of red wine, the biggest tube of KY jelly we carried, and 2 potatoes. I didn't say anything, but I thought to myself, this guy has plans for the weekend. Whew, that's a lot of... Okay, I'm saying red wine, okay. You're drinking, having fun. KY jelly, probably gonna have some sex, hopefully consensual. And then 2 potatoes. I'm gonna guess the potatoes are unrelated to the other 2. That's gonna be my guess here for everyone listening here. I'm gonna say the potatoes are unrelated to that. This is tonight. The other stuff is for this weekend. Lord, how much the biggest tube of KY jelly. Some women are I'm just saying, if women are on like birth control pills, they're sometimes the side effect is like they're just extra dry, because like the whole point of like the birth control pills so you don't get pregnant, and the whole point of how women get turned on and wet is so they get pregnant and have babies. That's a little science right there. So sometimes if a woman's dry and she's you're meeting a very nice woman, you're like, it's my birth control, it's the side effects, we're gonna need some lube. So this guy just may be lucky enough to raw dog a girl who's on birth control pills. And I'm guessing the potatoes are unrelated. Certain as seen on TV. How many are these? Oh, I don't know how many there are. Certain as seen on TV items. Most ASTV items are cheap pieces of junk that don't do as advertised. Yeah, that makes sense. The only time I ever judged someone was when this woman and a kid came up to the register. The woman wanted 4 cartons of smokes, and when her kid begged for a packet of strawberries, what kid asked for? I want some fucking strawberries, Mom. She told no because they couldn't afford it. This was back in the early 2010s, so cartons were around $80. So she spent $320 in cigarettes, but she didn't want to spend $3 on a measly pack of strawberries. Cartons? Oh, she bought 3 cartons. 4 cartons. Jesus. Okay, the math is right. See, I just feel like life is just easier when you don't smoke. And I'm not like judging people who do smoke. I'm just saying life is easier when you don't smoke. And I know it's hard to quit, but it's like, oh, I'm going to inconvenience myself because I really have to smoke right now. That's how people are. Like when people like drink, you're like, I'm going to inconvenience myself because I have to get fucking blitzed right now. Like no one's like that. Just quit smoking. People, just quit smoking. I know it's hard, but you can quit. People have quit. You have that self-control. Learn some fucking discipline. Many years ago, I was a cashier at an evil giant retailer. I'm not going to say Walmart. It was midsummer, and this lady only had 4 items: feminine deodorant spray, Summer Eve's douche, a can of bug spray, and a fly swat. I couldn't help but wonder if there was a connection between all of the items. I was really hoping not. Let's just assume there wasn't. But it's really funny to put all this fucking, I'm going to have sex. It's going to be a lot of bugs. Well, I gotta fix that shit out. Hold on. This is going back a while, but I used to cringe inside when people bought those hand wash, body wash brands with all those little microplastic balls for exfoliating purposes. I'm so glad that fad died out. Yeah, apparently that shit is bad for the environment. I remember having shit like that, and I don't think I have that shit anymore. I worked at a grocery store for a couple of years. An older man, probably in his 60s, came in, and he was with a girl who was in her mid-20s and pregnant. I was ringing them up, and he goes, "Hey, babe, do you need some more cigarettes?" He bought her a pack as well as one for him. I really don't judge people, but I judge them. There should be a law that, like, if a woman is obviously pregnant, you can't sell her cigarettes. Fat ladies rejoice because you can get as fat as you want, and people are like, "Is she fat or is she pregnant?" And people are like, "You know what? I'm not getting into it." I work at a pet store. I judge people that get a pet and then buy the cheapest and the most trashy food there is. A pet is a luxury and costs a lot of money, but that's where these people don't consider beforehand. If you get yourself one, you have to take good care of them, and good food is a basic right. Yeah, I agree. Why would you feed dogs? It's funny, we're like, these pet food industries are going under. I'm like, yeah, because people don't want to feed their dogs trash. I used to work at a movie theater. We sold regular bottles of Dasani for $5, and people would actually buy them. I also judge people who brought their kids to rate our movies. Bring your toddler who don't understand is one thing, but it's weird to bring your 7-year-old to Deadpool as if it's a regular superhero movie. Yeah, that was the weirdest time of my life where I got carded for Deadpool because a bunch of kids were trying to get in, and I was like, "We're gonna need to see your ID." But I was by myself. I was in college. I was like, "Here." I think somehow my college ID and my debit card were like the same thing. I don't know why that was. And like I checked out and shit like that with my college ID. Like, we're going to see your ID as well. Okay. Okay, that was funny. Yeah, I don't know. Don't buy Dasani water at all. And don't take your kids to see R-rated movies. If you can't find a babysitter, you don't get to see a movie. That's your fault for letting someone come inside you. Or coming inside someone else. Like the adult diapers, it depends. I work at McDonald's. I question people that order a coffee with 10 or more sugars. That just seems excessive. Now look. If you have to drink McDonald's coffee, it's not good. McDonald's coffee is not good. It's just like, I need caffeine right now. And I need something stronger than fucking Diet Coke. Get like the iced coffee, like a specialty drink that you know is still regular coffee. I'm going to put a shit ton of sugar in it. That's where you get no judgment. Don't order regular coffee with a ton of sugar. Buy like some weird ass specialty drink. Flushable wipes. I'm sure most people buying them are just ignorant, and they actually saw the fatbergs that ended up in the sewer and rivers. They might stop buying them, but I'm still judging you for not reading online before using them. A lot of them that claim to be flushable aren't actually flushable, and even the ones that officially claim to be. Look, I was one of these people once before, and I'm telling you, they are okay. But switching to a bidet makes your just life a whole lot better. I'm telling you, bidet supremacy. I have a friend getting married early November. I'm buying them a bidet for their wedding. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling you, bidets will make your life better. Like, don't you think I'm a happier person? It's because I have a bidet. The double chocolate chip frappuccino for your 4-year-old at 8:32 a.m. You are giving your very small child a chocolate milkshake for breakfast, Karen, just so you can trash your local Target and get 30 seconds of silence, and then leave the cup laying on the shelf, spilling chocolate milk out into the stack of back towels. Okay. None of this is a problem until she leaves it on the shelf. On a shelf. That's bad. Just do everything but that. Let parents just do their thing in peace. Like, the kid is a monster. I used to work part-time at Lowe's in college. I absolutely judge you by your design decisions. Anecdotally, middle-aged men usually pick the nicest, most agreeable designs. Old women usually pick the gaudiest looking anything. Yeah, my brother works at Lowe's. He'd probably agree with that. I always judge people who bought chunky bars, chocolate with peanuts and raisins with all the other candy we sell. This is what you want. Yeah. And that's the last one. Have you ever worked as a cashier? Just when you burst? Share your story with me in the comments below. They're trying to get interaction in the comments. All right, so that's what everyone's doing. Most of this is pretty agreeable, for the most part. Most of this is just a very common mistake, I have to imagine. But most of this has to be pretty agreeable. Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well. And make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.